Prepare for battle. This means war. Hello everyone, welcome to Genesis 14, where we are going to have a battle. Although in this first paragraph, it might feel like our significant battle is just pronouncing all of the personal names that are in these lists. So let's dive in. We start with Vayihi, right? Common way to start a paragraph. Vayihi bimei Amraphel melech Shinar. So we're starting a story with a time reference. It happened in the days of Amraphel, king of Shinar. And in English, that's going to look like this. And who knows how that's going to get pronounced. Amraphel, king of Shinar or something, who knows. But then we have a list of kings. We have Arioch, melech Elasar. And that's how this gets spelled in English. Arioch, king of Elasar, something like that. And then we have Kedor Laomer, melech Elim. Notice even with a name this long, Kedor Laomer, we're following syllable principles. I mean, the end of it is like a segulate noun. So that accented open syllable can actually be any length. But then we've got pretonic open long comates and Shiva in problem position, and that's preceded by a short vowel. That's how you know it's the short O, not the long A. And that's preceded by a Shiva. And, you know, if you can make really, really long words in Hebrew, that's what keeps happening when you get distant syllables, Shiva, short vowel, until you get some weak consonant triggering some other behavior. Anyway, so Kedor Laomer, king of Elam, and then we have V'tid'al, melech Goyim. So, and Tid'al, which is going to look like title in English, king of... now that's Goyim or Goyim in Hebrew rather. And the convention for spelling is to represent both the yod and the chirik as an I. So, you know, go figure. When you really learn your Hebrew and then you start looking at names and remembering how they were pronounced when you were growing up as a kid, and you're like, oh wow, that's weird. But we just have to deal with it. Okay, so here's the battle part. Asu milchama. What's asu? We got U at the end, and we've only got two other letters, so we're missing something. What's this from? Yeah, it's from asa. The third hey is phony hey. It's a mater. The third radical was originally a yod there, but whenever we put a vowel ending onto those, it just obliterates any reminiscence of R3 or the phony hey. So third common plural, cow perfect from asa. They made battle, and who did they make battle with? Well, et bera melech Sodom, ve'et birsha melech Amorah, shin av melech Adma, v'shem aver melech Zavoyim, umelech Bela he Tsoar. So it's mostly just a list here. They made battle, they made war against Bera, king of Sodom, against Birsha, king of Gomorrah. Shinav is going to look like Shinab or Shinab or something goofy in English. King of Adma. Sham Ever, going to look like Sham Eber or something in English. King of Zeboyim. And then we have Melech Bela, and then notice we've got He Tsoar. Could have put that on its own line. That's like a parenthetical noun clause. It is Tsoar, but since we're just identifying what that previous noun is, I kept it on the same line in English. I just used IE as a specifier. Then we have Kol Eila Chaveru El Emek Hasidim, and another one of those parenthetical notes, Hu Yam Hamelech. So Kol Eila, all these people on the list that we just read, Chaveru. Now that is a root that we might not know, although we should be able to parse it pretty easily. Cal, perfect, third common plural. Chavar, to join up, to associate. Something like that. So all these kings implied and their armies joined up at the Siddim Valley, or the Valley Siddim, and then our parenthetical, Hu Yam Hamelech, that is, or i.e., or it is, the Salt Sea, which we know is the Dead Sea. And then let's think about the time here. Chaveru is a perfect. We don't have preterites here because we're not really telling the story yet. This is all setting information. We're not getting a series of events. Our first Vayihi is just, this is the time that happened. At 2a, this is what happened. They made war with these kings. And then we've got Haveru. It's a perfect. In order for them to make war against those kings, the coming together of them to face off in battle would have been prior. Vayiktol doesn't make sense there. And so we can be translating all of these had joined together, or had allied together, or had come together at the Salt Sea. And then the next two lines are explanatory background. With translation up there. All these had joined up at the Siddim Valley. Shtem esrei shana avadu et kedor Omer. So shtem 2, esrei 10, 12 years. And whenever we have numbers that are bigger than 10, then the noun that goes with them stays in the singular form. So 12 years, and we'll supply for 12 years. Avadu, again, we've got a background clause, and it's a perfect fientive. So they had served Kedor Omer for 12 years. Ushalosh esrei shana maradu. And then the Masoretic text has, and 310 year maradu. But we've got a note on that. And note A in verse 4 has El, lega, C, cum, and then we've got squiggle, or the slinky lying on its side, and a Gothic S, and a Gothic T with a raised J, and then 1Q, gen, app, and then finally a little bit of Hebrew, uv, and then shin with shava and a mark. All right, what's all that mean? Okay, so L and C are read with. The slinky laying on its side is the Samaritan Pentateuch. The S represents the Syriac Peshitta. The T with the J is Targum Jonathan. And then we have 1Q, so Qumran Cave 1, Genesis Apocryphon. And all of these sources support, not have, right? Because these are not all the same language. We can't say that they all have u, vi, sh, etc. But they all have readings that support that. The Samaritan Pentateuch would actually have it, would have the bet there. So what's the note saying? The note is saying that the preposition bet occurs in between the conjunction vav and the shin. And so our translation would be, and in the 13th year, maradu. Now, when you look at avadu and chavaru, you've got a shava under the second radical in each of those cases. Here we have a kametz. Why do we have a kametz under maradu, under the resh? Well, this is because it's a pausal form. We're at the end of a sentence. We've got a heavy accent. And so that vocal shava is lengthened to a full vowel in these situations. And marad means to rebel. So they had served Kedor Omer for 12 years, and in the 13th year, we can say but in the 13th year because the idea is an opposite. So in the 13th year, they rebelled. Maybe we could say they had rebelled because it was probably expressed by not paying taxes or giving tribute or something like that, which brings on the wrath of the other kings or the suzerain who has collected some of his allies to come and shame these vassals and beat them into submission. In the next line, we're going to have Uva arba esrei shana ba kedor Omer. And so you can see the bet is present here for in the 14th year. And we've got a non-vayiktol to start this paragraph. We're specifying a time reference again, and we are switching the subject. And so those are things that are signaling us that that's a new paragraph. Okay, that's our first paragraph. It's giving us the setting information. We haven't brought Abram into the story yet, but we soon shall. Since we're having a story about battle, maybe this is a good time to review a paradigm involving katal, since katal means to kill. However, when we recite the paradigm, we are always talking about katal et hamaskitot. We're killing mosquitoes. Before we review the cow perfect paradigm, let's remember the pronoun first. Can you say it with me? Ani or anoki ata, at, hu, he, anachnu, atem, atena, haim, and hena. Okay, let's actually look at it just in case anybody was stumbling a little bit. Ani or anoki, two alternate forms for one CS. Ata, at, hu, he, anachnu, atem, atena, haim, and hena. And these are words that we just want to know forward and backward, like the back of our hand, all those sorts of metaphors. If you need to, take a couple minutes today, as soon as you finish the video, and just try and write them out by hand, saying them out loud as you do. Make sure you've got those all really solid. But then let's think about how the endings for the perfect verb come out of these pronouns, at least for first and second person forms. And then the third person forms, those endings come out of the nouns. And so let's just say those things together, using the pronoun to reinforce the ending on the perfect verb. Anoki katalti, ata katalta, at katalt, melek katal, right? Both of those have zero ending. Malka katala, anachnu katalnu, atem kataltem, atena katalten. And then third common plural is ka-talu. That u vowel on plural nouns has dropped away in Hebrew by the time we get to biblical Hebrew, so we're not used to it so much. But whenever we see u on the end of a verb, unless it's part of a pronominal suffix, that's always going to be a plural verb. So let's run through the paradigm one more time. Let it play in your mind just as part of your review for the day. Anoki katalti et hamaskitot. Ata katalta et hamaskitot. At katalt et hamaskitot. Melek katal et hamaskitot. Malka katala et hamaskitot. Anachnu katalnu et hamaskitot. Atem kataltem et hamaskitot. Atena katalten et hamaskitot. And then simply katalu et hamaskitot. Have a good day.